ComicCorp podcast. I am your host, as always, Chad Porto, and joining me is my glorious co-host, Marcus Green. Marcus, how are you?
I'm good. Glad to be back.
So we're gonna start off with it's not a story that is going to go the route some of y'all may think it's going to go, but it's kind of just I want to talk about it because it makes no goddamn sense that people are this pissed off about it. I know we're like 2 weeks removed from the Oscars, Marcus. I know my favorite film did or did not win, and I was both happy and sad that it did or did not win. This is my clever way of saying I didn't watch and don't care to. And I think at the end of the day, the reason why I don't care is because I don't need the validation of my favorite movies throughout the year to get dumb little awards. Also, because I know that my favorite movies will probably never win dumb little awards. I know no one's going to go back to 1995 and give the Phantom an award for Best Picture. I know they're not going back to 91 to give the Rocketeer a Best Picture award. So I'm not going to hold my breath. I know what's up. So the man that is president, he has a lot of free time apparently, because he wanted to comment on Parasite winning Best Picture. Now here's my initial takeaway from Best Picture: I don't care, and I don't know why you do. I don't know why anyone cares. If you need some flippant award by a bunch of stuffy suits that don't know how to count to five, let alone know how to spell it, to tell you if your movie's good enough or not, then hey, that's on you, man. Like I can't help you find your bliss in life. I know for me, the movies I love are the movies I love, and I don't need Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes or goddamn Twitter telling me that Dawn of Justice is fucking fantastic because it's fucking fantastic. Booyakasha. So here's the argument for why anyone should care. You shouldn't. So why the sitting president of these United States, who, if the West Wing is anything of a show as to how accurate one's day is in the Oval Office, there's not a lot of free time. Maybe you'll get like 2 hours to yourself at night, but like you don't have a lot of free time, right? Like there's business to run, laws to pass, handshakes to shake, babies to kiss, mistresses to screw. Like there's a lot in your day to do. So apparently at a rally, he's speaking to Middle America. I have to assume because this kind of rhetoric wouldn't go over well in the coastal areas. He says, "Quote: How bad were the I can't speak. How bad were the Academy Awards this year? And the winner is a movie from South Korea. What the hell is that all about? We've got enough problems with South Korea with trade. We don't. On top of that, they give them the best movie of the year. Was it good? I don't know." And then he goes with the most topical of movie references. Let's get Gone with the Wind back, please. Sunset Boulevard. So many great movies. From 60 and 70 years ago. Fair enough. I have to wonder what the big issue is with a South Korean movie winning an award. I don't understand it. And I don't get the big kerfuffle. If you want to make it so that there's a domestic and an international categories, and then like a total categories where a domestic film will win the best film, then an international film will win the best film, then there's the open broad forever, kind of like the AFC and the NFC. Like you can be the AFC champion and the NFC champion, but still only one of you are gonna win the Super Bowl. Like that's fine, let's do that, but that's not what this is. Marcus, do you have a problem with Parasite? Have you seen Parasite? And what do you make of all the people who are having an issue with the film Parasite?
I mean, I'm right there with you, man. I haven't seen it. I've seen all the hubbubaloo, if you will, about it. I got to put it on the list with the feels like hundreds of other movies I need to catch up on. But no, I don't get it. I mean, to me, if it was the superior film, then it deserved to win. I don't get people's. I definitely don't get people's frustrations now when so many times obviously as a black person watching all this stuff about Oscars so white and going even before that, you kind of know what it is. Um, I already have an inkling as to the establishment and how they view things, but you would think that Parasite would be a win for the diversity side, but apparently it's like selective outrage, selective diversity too. So, like I said, I haven't seen every movie that was nominated. That's normally the case. I saw Joker, but if Parasite was better, then it was just better. But it's weird that this Parasite film was the one that's really divisive. Thank God, nothing like Birds of Prey was possibly ever. Not only just because they don't really nominate those movies like that, but it wasn't good enough to be considered because we still be hearing the tables be flipped about it.
Well, Birds of Prey is not technically eligible for the 2020 awards. They'll have to be eligible for the 2021 awards. So if they are
Yeah.
eligible for something, we'll find out next year, and God, I hope not. The funny thing with the whole Parasite thing is, I watch this. She's a wonderful YouTuber. She's exactly my type of sense of humor. Like, she's just sarcastic and dry, but she has some really good insights, and she's a big film buff. Like, this is part of what she does. She reviews films at a semi-professional level. And she was talking about
Yeah.
Parasite 5, 6, 7 months ago. Like, she went to I think it was the Cannes Film Festival, and she's like, it's the best film I've seen all year. It's phenomenal. And I have a lot of stock in what she says because she's not snooty. She likes dumb things. She's like, I saw Sonic. It was good. It's dumb, but it's dumb fun. That's what it's supposed to be. She's not like one of those, like, it has to be one way or no ways. So I've known about this film for months now. And I saw someone on, I forget where I saw it. I think it was on like a Philip DeFranco show or something like that. There's this dude who was like, movies like Parasite winning are the reason why America is failing. And when I wasn't watching the screen when I heard that, I was like, man, I know what
Yeah,
this dude looks like just by hearing his voice. And I turned and I looked at him, and it's a 28-year-old black dude. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh wait.
Right?
Oh, I thought you was talking about the other guy. That went viral for talking about Parasite winning.
Oh,
That's
no. We're not talking about Fozzie Bear. In these here motherfucking United States of America. Could that dude be a bigger stereotype? I swear to God, I thought I was watching the Scott Steiner promo. Parasite needs to get my bags! Get my bags! Fucking ginger ass teddy bear just ranting and raving about a goddamn movie. Like, what is even wrong with you? But apparently the film is touching a lot of bases negatively, and I don't know why. I don't understand, especially how a very progressive Hollywood can be so rejective of it. And I'm just like, I heard it was really good. I kind of want to watch it. And I don't like reading while watching movies. So that tells you something. I don't know, man. I think people get way too worked up about some of this shit. Speaking of getting way too worked up, you want to talk about Birds of Prey? So, Birds of Prey has made back its budget officially. Usually, the rule of thumb is 33% of whatever the budget is usually goes towards the totality of how much the film costs, because the budget is only for how much the film makes or how much the film costs to make, while the extra 33%, give or take, is the tack on for advertising. So it cost probably around $130 to $140 million. And it's made $152.8 million, and it'll probably get a sequel. And I don't want to sit here and say it underperformed because, let's be honest, just grading and judging by the fan support heading into it, there wasn't a lot of fervor for it. So I guess it did exactly what it was supposed to, but Warner Brothers was a bit perplexed with its low numbers. Now, you've seen the film. I have not.
Yep.
I'm still waiting to see Joker. I'm still waiting to see Ant-Man 2.
Well, one of you missed nothing. The Joker one I would like to get your opinion on, because just how the movie is, and you don't need to see it.
Well, that's, I guess, the best review we can get out of this. You don't need to see it.
It's Yeah, I mean, for me, look, I get, like we always start these things off because we don't have any, dogs in the fight, anything personal against none of these movies or companies. We don't take this stuff personally, unlike some people on the internet who have nothing better to do. But really, I mean, I said it on the last show. It was just I was bored watching
Oof.
it. And to me, it's probably one of the most forgettable movies that I've seen in a while. Like I'm not gonna watch that movie again, certainly not on purpose. Um, in terms of good stuff, I like, you know, Margot Robbie in that role, and she was held up a lot of entertainment value in it. But and I think we talked about it beforehand. Journey Smollett, she was good. Rosie Perez did her thing. Elizabeth Winstead, I think you called.
Mary Elizabeth
Uh,
Winstead, yeah, she was
yeah,
Huntress.
yeah, she did good as well. Like they had a good cast. I don't know. I guess I feel like they threw the Cassandra Cain girl in there for to add that last piece of diversity in there because she really her character served no other purpose. She literally was a MacGuffin holder. That's all. That she just held it. She was just a MacGuffin holder, and everybody that I guess is familiar with um, that character. I guess we'd be referring um, throwing it to Zach at this point, who's the Batman universe expert. Apparently, she's nothing like the character, and people despise that about it. But yeah, I mean, all the men in the movie suck, including the men villains, and a lot of stuff is underwhelming. I know a lot of people's congratulating and getting in all the hoopla about the action, but it's cool to watch. And at the same time, it's completely unbelievable. So I felt like I was back watching like a bad episode of one of these CW shows because I can't really find any foundational reason why this stuff was actually happening. Well, a lot of it was actually happening, and this apparently was done by the guy who I guess what was the editor on John Wick or the director or something, fight choreographer.
I like I like that. The more you talk about it, the lesser impressive role it becomes. He was the director, fight choreographer. I think he handled assistant catering.
I think it was the fight choreographer, but yeah, I mean it's just a lot of underwhelming stuff. And God bless Ewan McGregor with Black Mask is if he wasn't memorable in the comics, I'm hoping he was far better in the comics than he was um, here. I mean, just a little run he had in Nightwing. I felt like he had more of a presence there than he did here. I mean, he gets to play with a lot of things here, but that doesn't mean it's interesting on any level. And again, the stuff is subjective. Seen reviews, people who hated it. Seen people who was kind of just mad about it, and I seen people who absolutely thought it had no flaws. And then I'm like, but these people called Aquaman trash, and then I had to go back to my subjectivity point. So, uh, yeah, it's just I always got to ground myself when I get into those zones. But yeah, it's just completely forgettable for me. It was a swing and a miss. I get it. I like the female empowerment aspect, but there's a fine line that we talk about a lot to hit with this kind of stuff, and I don't think it got tackled properly here. Like I said, they got some good actresses in there, but this movie is doesn't blow anything out of the water for me. So
One of the complaints I saw, and it's actually one of the complaints that Star Trek Discovery kind of was hit with for season one, is that they gave everyone kind of their totem, if you will, in Harley Quinn. Like every type of chick had someone repping them. But every single guy in this film was apparently the villain or a villain. That's some real subversive type of storytelling right there. And when I saw that, when I heard that, I was like, well, that would be kind of intriguing. Like, imagine making a film where all the women were the bad guys. That would bring a lot of heat on you in today's culture. And I wonder why we allow the double standard to exist because it's so fucking stupid. Like there are plenty of female villains. If you don't want to have any dudes in your film at all, that's fine. Like just do whatever. As far as the person who worked on John Wick, I can't seem to find him. Because the director's a chick who's working on like her second big film. Christina Hodson is the writer. Matthew Libatic is the cinematographer, and I'm just looking up his stuff. Maybe this is him. Let's see. The Fountain, number 23, Black Swan. No, I don't see any John Wick here. He worked on Venom. Oh. Hang on. Nope. He did work on Venom. That's not what it is. Maybe it was the fight coordinator who worked on John Wick.
Yeah, I think it was like I said, definitely was a female director. And shout out to her. Not all the aspects of the movie was bad, but it's like one of those things when we be watching. Like I said, the action was cool to watch, but in the context of what was going on, it didn't make sense because, like, okay, spoiler alert. Like she break into a police station, and she has like a gun that's shooting like bean bags and like gas pellets and stuff. And you go into a police station, all the cops have guns, but somehow she whooped everybody.
But women.
Exactly. It go back to the male thing. Like truly, I feel like the only quote unquote male in this movie that was deemed any good was the damn boy hyena.
Well, he is probably a good boy.
No, yeah, it was. Although they did something, it was like, okay, he's not really. He survived that. Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's not like.
Is his name Ed by any chance?
Oh no, it's not Ed. It's it's dead on the nose Batman reference. His name is Bruce.
Ah, god damn it. So you also saw another movie, a movie that I'm assuming is far better. SANIC.
Oh, it was so good.
Already made back its budget, plus some, plus its advertising. Made $128 off of a $95 million budget. You know, tack on 30%. That's probably like what, 118, 120. So it made back its budget, and it's only in its first week, and it's got to go fast to the box office. I'm hearing nothing but rave reviews from so many people. There are some people who are like, it's not that good. I don't know why people like it. But a lot of those people are also of the mindset, they're like, oh, this was a movie that didn't need to exist. Well, all right. Technically, no movie needs to exist. So, all right, sweet argument there, Chief.
Yeah.
But you gave it the strongest reviews because you gave me the reason, besides the gorgeous lead, who what's that beautiful? James Marsden, that's who it is. as well as Tika Sumpter.
You're not wrong.
Right? Two pretty people doing two pretty people things. But you gave it the, I think, the seal approval because one of the things that I think when you have something like Jim Carrey, I'm going to make a reference that you're going to totally get. Having Jim Carrey in your movies, like having Michael Vick on your football team or Lamar Jackson on your football team. Sure, you may want him to throw, but we all know why Lamar Jackson's on that field. He throws ducks. They get shot out of the air, and then the little dog from Duck Hunt grabs him, and then. But when Lamar Jackson pulls that ball down and tucks it and runs, oof, you were watching poetry in motion. And that's Jim Carrey. Sure, Jim Carrey can do serious work. He's a fine thespian. But Jim Carrey's best work is when he pulls that goddamn ball down, tucks it, and makes poetry in motion with his comedy. And you said that this was like him going back to The Mask, Riddler, and Ace Ventura, which is his peak level of performances. At least in our opinions. So when you said that, I was like, sold.
Yeah, and it's funny, and it's weird because, again, a long time being a fan of this guy, all the way going back to, and I know you wasn't necessarily a fan of the show, but Family Matters, I didn't know for years that Jaleel White voiced Sonic.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a phenomenal revelation for me. But then, unfortunately, he didn't come back and do anything in this movie. But the guy, Ben Schwartz, I think, voiced him this time, and he did a great job. The characterization of Sonic is great. Obviously, it kind of goes without saying the aesthetic is great because you couldn't go nowhere but up um, with what they kicked off as, and apparently there's this theory going around now like that was in the plan, that like to get people's attention and then switch it. Like I don't know if I give people that much credit for being genius and marketing pull like that. Plus, I would imagine that's a ton of money that they didn't really have to spend
Mm-hmm.
on a maybe with this movie. Um, so I'm not totally buying it into that, but they definitely made the right decision to that. The characterization, like I said, is great. Um, when he's in action, it's great. They got good music. His interactions with the humans are good. I mean, like even the script in this movie, which could have been completely kid panderish, had a lot of adult stuff in it. And not adult stuff that was offensive to kids, but stuff that kids could, get, but then adults could really get it, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Kind of
So,
like the old
um,
Disney animated films from the 90s.
yeah, absolutely. And then again, I mean, that was a perfect, comparison and reference to, how you view Jim Carrey's performance. Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, Jim Carrey, those are guys you put in place and you just let them play.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Keith Lee, when it comes to their comedic and um, like their ability to move the chains and move the ball, they're limitless. You just can't restrain them. You kind of let them find their groove and do it. And Jim Carrey, damn near, he really almost steals the movie. Um, and I know a lot of people were worried about the whole, well, he doesn't look 100% like Robotnik. Don't worry. And no, he doesn't need to be fat. But yeah, I mean, they found a brilliant way of doing stuff with the rings, doing certain things with his certain parts of his wardrobe in this movie, what little there is. Um, and yeah, I mean, they even do a great framing of James Marsden's relationship with Tika Sumpter in this movie. So all those apparent, I guess the bots came for this movie because this movie has been absolutely lapping Birds of Prey. So they tried to say like they had racist and misogynist crap in this movie. 100% lies. Those people can go stick their heads in the toilet permanently because it's absolute garbage. This movie is, I mean, it's setting a good standard like Detective Pikachu did for this new generation of video game movies. Because me, Chad, and so many other kids that grew up in the 80s and 90s has had to suffer with just holding up Mortal Kombat because we've had to watch Street Fighter and Mario and Jesus Christ, those guys I sent you about that did the Steel review. They did a review of Double Dragon,
Oh,
and good,
God.
oh, we've suffered for so long, and now we're finally getting some quality that's respecting these IPs and doing the justice. So I'm this really just getting me amped. Like I said, last year Detective Pikachu was a pleasant surprise for me. This is great, and I'm looking very much forward to the new Mortal Kombat. So,
Let me go on record saying Street Fighter is an amazing movie, period.
shout out to Bobo. Oh.
Raul Julia might be one of the greatest actors of all time just for his love and dedication for his craft and his children. Love that man. Miss him so much. As far as this film goes, I saw that story, by the way, of the fake the fake slurs and the fake anti-Semitism or whatever, and I saw that I'm just thinking to myself, God damn, how
Yeah,
vindictive can you be to try to ruin a group of people's collective reputations because your chick power movie isn't doing too well because it was poorly marketed and it looked kind of dumb. I'm kind of of the mindset like, don't get mad at people for not liking something. Get mad at people who
yeah,
made the something. You know?
yeah. I mean, look at it. The people behind Sonic started off on a mistake and corrected it. The
Mm-hmm.
people behind Birds of Prey knew that name was gonna come up as an issue, and look, they trying to change it as it's going, and it's not helping it. You know,
Yeah.
and you step in it. Sometimes you stuck in it, and that's what what you got with that. Like I said, at least they had the wherewithal go back and change it, looking at the fan outrage. And I think that's another reason why so many we seeing the numbers so high for this movie, because the fans really felt like they got included in this, um, which is great. And of course, people saying like it's not the best movie of all time, whatever. Neither was Detective Pikachu. Like the premise for these movies aren't the video game version of Fences. Like I don't know what people trying to say. This isn't the Titanic. This isn't Fences. This isn't the Remember the Titans uh type of movies. These movies aren't more than what they need to be. I mean, for God's sakes, it's an alien hedgehog with super speed. What are you trying to? There's no deep metaphoric, you know, uh, universal societal thing that's gonna come out of this. Like they do a great job with a certain message in the movie dealing with Sonic as well as James Marsden's character, but it's not this, um, freaking like I said, overly deep thing that needs to be, pondered upon years and weeks and months after you've seen this movie. This movie is exactly what it needs to be, and unlike certain other movies, it knows its target audience, and they showed up for it. So
I think the thing that really boggles my mind, the more, excuse me, the more woke the entertainment industry gets, the more woke the fan base gets, and the more woke the fan base gets, the more illogical it gets, because the idea that every form of media is supposed to be something profound is in itself inauthentic. The idea that a movie or anything that's designed to make you laugh is somehow not worth your time is a cruel and unnecessary mindset. You don't need to make Schindler's List every time you go out to make a movie. You can make something that's dumb and fun, because sometimes we just need a fucking laugh. And I think the people who look down at movies like this are truly the reason why so many people are disenfranchised with so much in life. It's because in this attempt to be more aware and more socially conscious and more inclusive, and we forgot that part of the reason we make this stuff is just to remember to take a break from life. You're allowed just to unplug and enjoy something. It's okay if what you're watching doesn't teach you a lesson. This isn't the 1980s Saturday morning cartoons. You're allowed just to watch nonsense if it makes you feel good. So, don't get all bent out of shape about Sonic. Speaking of bent out of shape, what's up, Tika Sumter? Oh, she's married. That's right. Damn it. Damn, she's got like an Amazonian smile. Like, it's warm, but also like, don't try her.
It is funny too when you say been out of shape, because again, I watched a bad movie review about Street Fighter, not Street Fighter, the Double Dragons, and Alyssa Milano is in that movie. And they did these two bend over shots with her that obviously would get the film burned at the stake today. But yeah, it's just two gratuitous ass shots that are hilarious to me now. And you saying bent out of shape, it's so perfectly references those two shots.
I approve of unnecessary bent over ass shots in films. Chad approved. So before we get to My Hero, I do want to bring up this. So apparently there's a new Operation game that features Baby Yoda. Now, I thought it was going to be vastly more problematic than what it ended up being, because I'm thinking it's going to be like Baby Yoda and like you have to cut it open. No, what it is, it's just a regular game of Operation, but instead of having the dude and you take pieces out of him, it's just a picture of Baby Yoda in his little ball, and there's a bunch of like holes like around him. Like it's not nearly as creepy as I thought it was going to be. So the story's not nearly as interesting. I'm going to send you the photo because it's really innocuous. Like there's nothing about this that's alarming. It's just the start of the Baby Yoda hype train, if you will. Because apparently they've already released Baby Yoda toys where the ears and eyes move like a Furby.
I love how Baby Yoda is just generations Turbo Man.
Actually, technically, this generation's Turbo Man is the Mandalorian. But we flipped the script because now everyone wants the Booster toy. No one likes you, Booster. We need to watch that movie again. I don't even give a damn if it's fucking February. Like, we need to watch Jingle All the Way. Das
Yeah.
Selection, Donna, Fiction, Donna. I don't remember all the names of the damn ranger. Fuck off.
Oh, Sinbad, the villain.
Sinbad's not even the villain, though. Sinbad is just a dad trying to get his kid a toy. He's a good dad. You know, until he blows up the radio station by accident. That's my favorite running gag in the movie. This is a bomb. You know how many sick people there are? Set it still on Christmas Eve. Then it goes off.
Oh,
Man, there really are some sick people out there. Oh, Sinbad. So, My Hero Academia. We got a new trailer for the upcoming movie. Did you get a chance to see that yet? The trailer?
Oh yeah, I've watched everything associated with it, except the movie itself.
Mark's and I are going to be sneaking in.
Yeah.
We're going to be sneaking into
Exactly. Which apparently, I guess the LA premiere was last night. I saw trending on Twitter.
LA. I guess we're going to be sneaking into LA with a time machine then.
Cisco, where are you?
Right? For the first time in your life, be useful. So we're back in the full swing of things, and we got, you know, we got the, I don't know what they would call it, the area rescue arc, and like, holy hell, man! Like, I'm right there with everyone who, when they were watching it, and Aria's like, you know, I have to trust him, I have to give him a chance, and she leaps off that flying piece of boulder into Deku's arms, and then Deku went full goddamn Goku on what's his face, and just disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh god.
With that music,
Which I didn't realize until I listened to it on YouTube. It was basically just all four of the, you can be a heroes or whatever it is, melodiously like interchanged with one another with a voice track over it. I was like, oh, so you're gonna hit us right in the All Might feels.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And it's funny because, you know, when this arc first started, you know, I think I saw a lot of people complaining because it's very hard to come off of everything that we got with the, you know, All Might's climax in the retirement, come off something like that, and, you know, people kind of want to continue the momentum. But the brilliance of My Hero is that it's able to, you know, ebb and flow, you know, between, you know, how it goes about, you know, building up tension and then, you know, reaching its peak. So when it started off, a lot of people were complaining about it being slow and plodding, and, you know, obviously the immediate Bakugo and Todoroki fans were just like babies. Yeah, you put baby in a corner, and, you know, and obviously they're gonna have some shine in the back half. But this stuff with Deku and Lemillion it was brilliant. I mean, the stuff with, you know, we talked about Kirishima. They gave him a couple good Fs. Nobody saw that surprise with Fat Gum coming. I
You
even
mean
like the new
Handsome
villain.
Gum?
Handsome Gum. Oh, freaking stockpile technique he got. And I even like that villain guy, and I hope they use him more. Rapar, the guy with the fist, the rapid fist.
Oh, the guy who's like, I just want to fight.
Exactly.
I like that.
Exactly.
Guy.
He's hilarious because he literally like that's all he wants to do. But yeah, I mean that stuff with Chisaki and, you know, I mean I really didn't care for, and I say this before, I didn't really care for Night Eye just because of the you know the kind of shade he was giving Deku and kind of being like almost a hater. It was respectful in a way, but, you know, I think a lot of it had to do with, you know, his appreciation and love for All Might as well, and he kind of just wanted to see his legacy passed on, and he couldn't see past. By this point, we didn't exactly know just how much he loved and in a lot of ways admired Lemillion.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, now you can kind of put that whole thing in the context of why he was just like, you cool, Deku, but you ain't you ain't Lemillion. So you get it now, and unfortunately, it comes on his literal deathbed. But even before that, like you didn't think anything was gonna match that United States of Smash, and then they freaking turned Deku into One Punch Man. Well, a Million Punch Man, if you will. Oh,
Nice.
so that was so good.
I think the thing that people need to realize is My Hero Academia really shouldn't be enjoyed episode to episode. And I think that's kind of the big issue with people who criticize the show. These are written to be mini movies. Each arc should be watched from start to finish on its own. But they release it episodically, like every single week. But to be fair, it shouldn't be. It should be viewed in one 6-episode stretch. Because I felt the same. I shouldn't say I felt the same way. I felt anxious watching the first few episodes because I knew that there was going to be so much more to get to. And I was like, let's get there already. But part of the fun about My Hero is, in fact, that idea of building up to that satisfying conclusion. I don't think people would have appreciated that final sequence where, Eri leaps to Deku and Deku, flashes out of existence only to appear somewhere midair, a mile above Tokyo with Deconstructo coming at him. Keep forgetting his name. Like that is all built up from watching all of Deku's friends and coworkers striving to get there just as hard, and all of them falling to some degree. And I think that's part of why the episode, the finale of that arc was so strong, is because it was earned. And I think that's the thing that fans need to realize is sometimes you need to earn that feeling. And it should never be manufactured. And so many times the shows will try to do that. Like, We Are the Flash. Shut the fuck up. This is very organic. It's very, very natural. It built up to this idea that these guys are truly what they say they are. They are heroes to the fullest extent of who they are. And they will not stop at anything for any reason until they achieve their goal. And in this case, it was protecting a little girl who knew nothing but pain. And I saw that, and I was just like, damn, man. So damn good. Loved it. It's so good. And every time there's a new arc, I'm like, how are they going to top it? I need to stop asking that question.
Babies! They're going to top it with babies.
They're babies. They're stupid babies. They're not stupid babies. Wonk. Okay, they're stupid babies. That's even the best part. Is now we're into this new arc. We're watching Todoroki and Bakugo and the other failed out students from the other school. They're all now chilling with these fucking psychotic 10-year-olds that are so powerful they don't have a conscience apparently. They're sociopaths. And now they're gonna fight a bunch of toddlers. And I'm here for this. I am here. I am representing the Lollipop Guild. I got my popcorn, and I'm gonna enjoy some of this nonsense. I just want Bakugo to hit one of the little kids so hard it cries, and then Bakugo goes, "Shut up, you little baby! What are you, 9? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, idiot." She's screaming at a toddler.
Just want him to go around the whole episode knocking the kids out like how Vegeta did Trunks when he was fighting Fat Boo before he exploded.
Ah, yes.
He just gut punched him. Oh man.
Didn't he karate chop someone too?
Yeah, he chopped. Actually, he chopped Trunks and then he body shot at Goten.
Oh, okay. That's because I just remember him karate chopping someone, going with the Majin Buu on his head.
Yeah, because he was holding Trunks before.
Yeah. So Very interested to see where this goes. I can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. Marcus, I like these comedy segments with My Hero because it kind of brings you back to realizing that not everything is doom and gloom in the end of the world. Sometimes it's just about learning how not to fall. So I appreciate these episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there. And you also, I mean, it always takes us back to because in a lot of ways, our class 1A is like these kids except older, but they are still just kids.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting into a lot of these adult situations, and thankfully, coming out on top because of teamwork and a lot of help in that regard. But um, from training and just all these situations they've been thrown into, but yeah, they just kids too. They're just trying to get it and understand what's going on like everybody else. I mean, a lot of them still learning about their quirks. You look at some of the stuff we might be getting from these kids, they practically mastered this, which is crazy to look at. Like, this is the generation that's behind the class we're watching.
Well, I think it'll
You
be
know?
interesting to see if they have actually mastered their quirks. Because, the one with the suit,
Yeah.
that's a young Republican.
A
you
young
know.
Trumper.
Well, not a young Trumper necessarily. I'm thinking more like Alex B. Keaton, Michael J. Fox back in, what was that, Family Ties? He's
Oh yeah.
just a young Republican. Very much about the economy. But
It looks like somebody.
he's got something that he's got control of.
Yeah, he looks like actually. I bet money he's the ringleader. He looks like somebody named Jet.
I could see it. I think part of the thing that'll be interesting is how much control these kids have over their powers and how powerful these powers actually are. Because the teacher's like, these are some powerful ass kids and they know it. But can they control it? And that might even be more of a risk. Like they may put themselves in harm's way, forcing the failed out heroes to have to improvise ways to save them. So that'll be interesting. Kind of like Deku with Muscular, where
Yeah.
the kid put himself in harm's way, and then Deku had to break his entire body to fight the goddamn human clamshell.
Yeah, yeah, that is. It'll definitely be interesting seeing that fight in a rematch because now Deku does have. Well, he had full calling then, didn't he? Yeah.
No,
Um.
no, he learned full calling from that fight because he was so busted up. I think because he learned full calling when they were
No, he
doing.
learned full calling. He learned full calling with Gran Torino.
I thought he learned full calling when he was doing the training after the All Might One for All fight or All for One fight. Because wasn't that when he learned how to use his legs as his primary motivation? Because his arms were gassed because
No,
of how much damage he did to it.
no, he learned it. He learned full cowling in season 2 with Gran Torino because remember he was thinking about the whole egg thing,
Right,
and then yeah, and then he powered up, and then after that he was practicing it. That's when he ran into Stain,
right.
and they had that alley fight, and then after that season 3 is when we got the All Might thing and All for One. I think when he ran into Muscular, which was the beginning of season 3 because that's when they had the camp. He didn't start using his legs yet, and his full cowling wasn't enough because he was still trying to fight like All Might using full cowling. He didn't start using his legs until they started training with the quirks at that facility, and All Might was about to get hit with that brick.
Right. What did he
And
learn
then All Might was
at
like,
that then? Because he learned something specifically there.
yeah, that's when All Might was telling him. Like, All Might was like, you can't be me. Like you kind of you because all he's thinking right now, like he's so in the smash type of mindset because everything he's ever done, he's kind of modeled after All Might, and All Might was like, "You can't be me," and then get that obviously because after that, that's when Deku got the boots, and that's when he learned about the kicking. He was like, if I can't go with my legs, I'll go with my feet. But he kind of came up with it on the spot because obviously, remember, he had the boots.
Right, right. I think the only thing that's confused me is what he calls it now. Like, does he still refer to his full calling? Because I thought it had a different name now because he's doing a different part of One for All.
Yeah, he calls it one for all, full cowling.
Okay. I guess I just got confused on when he actually started to use that. Like the name itself.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause
I think
I
he
remember
started
every
calling
little
it.
I remember every little detail you just mentioned. I just forgot when he started to use the
Yeah,
full calling as a calling card.
it's crazy because we 4 seasons in, but it almost feels like it's been more than that
Yeah.
with everything that's happened. Going back through everything.
You know what, Marcus? I'm just gonna have to go back and rewatch it all. Punish myself.
Which is 100% worth the time. And to your credit, you're right. This show is such that it deserves to be binged like that
It really does.
because they leave stuff off. It's like one of my favorite things that they leave off on, and it wasn't the. It might have been the last shot of the episode when Deku got not Deku Bakugo got kidnapped, and you see Deku, his arm and stuff is jacked up, and he's just on the ground screaming
Oh God, that's
because obviously
right.
he's in pain, but he couldn't save him, and it was just it was excruciating.
Because Deku
That was
lunged
such a
for the closing portal when he was getting yanked
yeah.
through. Ah, and his little floppy arms were just going all over the place.
So good. But what a great moment that they did. I mean, they still let Bakugo get. I mean, Bakugo still got captured, but what a great moment that they let Belly Bean Boy come through, come through with a moment.
Right. Finally stepped up and did something of relevance. I think my favorite part is even though Bakugo was clearly afraid when he was with the League, he was still like, "You want to fight, you bastards!"
I'll
I love
take
it.
y'all on.
He's such a little
He
psychopath.
reminds, he reminds me of what was the movie with Jet Li when he had to fight himself?
Oh
Um,
God! All right, no, I know what you're. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
yeah. And
Like,
then and then I guess in the end of the movie he went I guess he went to this jail dimension or whatever, and he was at the top of this pyramid. And all these fighters were coming to fight him, and I guess somebody said something about making them his bitch. He was like, "I'm Eula. I'm nobody's bitch." He was just knocking guys off the pyramid as they was running up. It was hilarious.
yeah, because Jet Li was
Oh,
fighting all the different. Because it's the multiverse theory, and Jet Li fought himself. But then at the end of the film, it was all the
yeah.
other Jet Lis from all the other multiverses coming at Jet Li.
Oh, it
Fucking
was so good.
madness. I think it's like Time Cop or some nonsense name like that, or
Oh,
Universe
yeah,
Cop
yeah,
or
but
something like that.
Bakugo, yeah. You gain a lot of respect for Bakugo in that arc, and his relationship now with Deku was on a different thing. I mean, it's cool just seeing Endeavor and All Might sit down because that relationship, in a way, a lot kind of mirrors what was going on between Deku and Bakugo. But he's in a completely different space now because, again, like I said, as much as it hurt to watch, putting All Might to the side really kind of pushed the creativity in the show because they had to elevate people now. Like you have to put Endeavor in a position where he has to be the guy because he's been talking all that noise. He looks the part, but we I think we only really got to see him flex one time against them no moves, and when it was going after Stain, but that's been about it.
He had a little play with One for All for One, but
Yeah.
he didn't do much. The funniest part about them sitting down together is like, is he's all like, "All Might, I need to talk to you," and All Might's just like, "All right, don't care. Why am I here?" Like he's so done with having to listen to this asshole. Oh, I love it. So we've seen a lot of great moments, and just off the top of your head, I know for me, like the moment I watched the show, when I like, yes, that's when I got hooked. But what are like one or two moments that you find yourself watching over and over again, thinking to yourself like, this is what this show is at its peak? Do you have any off the top of
Ah,
your head?
oh, come on, man. We could list off this stuff all day. We love this show. For me, I feel like we've gone over so many times, but for me, definitely the moment in that alley um, on the side of the house. It looked like an alley when All Might told him about his power, and told him that he could be a hero, and Deku was just on his knees crying as All Might stands there.
That's a good one.
That's a great one. And then for me specifically, when I got 100% invested in Deku, because me and Chad, obviously, we talk about our height a lot, but just instinctively, whether we was tall or short like we are, we hate bullies.
Mm-hmm.
And Bakugo very much, it was just an absolute douche in the early goings of this series. And that episode, when they were doing that training exercise, and Bakugo lunged at him, and he caught his ass and judo flipped him.
Oh, yeah. That's
I was like, yes, you bastard, yeah. And even before that, another moment, and I've referenced this before, when and a lot of these moments are gonna come when people have, because Deku was the ultimate underdog, and we love good underdogs here, but specifically with Deku, when they had the physical fitness challenge, and they had to throw the baseball to test their strength, and what's his name? Eraserhead cut off his quirk, and it was like, you can't even control your stuff. You done. You're not gonna make it here. Beat it. And freaking Deku again came in the clutch, had to come up with a master plan, and you got All Might on the side watching like a dad that just dropped his son off at school for the first time. And Deku, he can't mess himself up, but he got to pass this test, so he just come up with a master plan. I'm going to release my quirk through my finger at the last possible point of contact and hurl this ball like an absolute G and only into the top part of my finger. And he just stood there damn near in tears going, see, I did it. And freaking All Might's on the side. Where did you get so cool? Like, heck, young Midoriya, where did you go get so cool?
Those are all great ones. I think for me, like peak performance would be start of season 2 when they were doing the physical fitness testing against one another, like they're doing like all those tests and shit, and they have to do the obstacle course, and like you see like Deku, the festival. And he has to get the he takes the giant fucking piece of hunk of metal from one of the robots, and he's slowly crawling across the ropes, and he's just getting laughed like the little bitch that he is. And then like you see Todoroki and Bakugo, and they're flying towards the head, and then all of a sudden you just see fucking Deku flying at him, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? And then they show you what he did, and he put all those mines together, and he slapped it with the goddamn piece of metal, and he went flying over them. I saw that, I was like, this is the greatest show I've ever seen. Because then he takes the metal thing that he has, and he slaps them in the face with it, and it propels them even forward.
It's so good, because all you hear, they cut away from Deku. Oh, that moment, that's another great moment. They cut away from Deku because again he has to come up, because at this point again hasn't like at all mastered any parts of one fall. So he has to get across this obstacle course a completely different way. So they just cut away from him, and freaking Todoroki is full Bobby Iceman at this point. And Bakugo is just like full Rocket Man blasting off like Team Rocket style. And then all you just hear is a bunch of freaking explosions. And Deku just comes from, like, that was Deku's Bakugo moment when he rocketed away in season 3 from the villains.
Yes.
Which was an all-time show. And people looking back like, what in the hell? No! It was brilliant.
You can hear Bakugo's mind screaming, nerd! Because that's such a nerdy thing to do. Just put all the mods together and propel yourself forward.
He's over 9,000. It's so good. And then another part from the film festival, and it's partially a Deku moment, because that was the funniest part for me, but it's really a Ida moment. The first time Ida, when everybody has to get the bandanas off people's heads, or the off people's heads, and um, Deku got the top ribbon, and it's Todoroki, Ida, the shot guy, and Yazurozu. And everybody on Ida back, and they running out of time, and Ida's like, look, I'm gonna do something. Everybody hang on. And he freaking uses his freaking reciprocal burst for the first time. And the look on Deku's face was priceless because he just looked like, I be god damn it. Like it was the moment was it was brilliant.
I think the two parts of season 1 that really hooked me were when Deku showed up. What's her name with the Uravity? What's her non-hero name?
Rock. Yeah.
What,
Uraraka.
Uraraka. Uraraka gets trapped underneath the rocks at the testing, and she can't move, and that big giant thing comes at her, and Deku's just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm gonna try something. Just fucking lodges himself in a robot.
Yeah, and it freaking because he was like, because you didn't get no points for taking out the robots, but you had to avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
And then so again, I watch these clips back like every other day.
Me too.
and freaking Uraraka's just left there, and then you just see Deku turn around, and then they play it anytime the "You Say Run" song comes on or the beat comes on, stuff gets real in this show. It's probably gonna be the most epic stuff you're gonna get. He just takes out running, flapping, like, and then you get All Might's great voiceover. There aren't no points in this course for style, but that doesn't mean you can't show what you're made of. So when you get the opportunity, clench your butt cheeks, kid, and then he just rockets into the air, knocks the robot out, and turns into freaking Roman noodles.
Just flopping his way back down.
He's flopping his way back down to Earth, and of course that's when we get one of our first introductions to the Kissy Nurse, is what I like to call her.
Oh god, her. The other one
Nurse.
came at the season. I think it was the episode before the season finale, or may have been the season finale, when the villains broke into the training facility, and All Might was right there. You know, he couldn't move because he was depowering. You know, he'd just gotten rid of Nomu, but everyone else was still bearing down on him. And Deku's like, we got to do something, and he lunges, but he gets caught because of the portal. I forget what the portal guy's name is. And he's about to get got, and as the hand is coming at him, you just Deku closes his eyes and he braces himself for death. And then all of a sudden, you just hear a bullet rip through the sky, and it hits the dude in the hand, and you just see the baddest ass looking fucking teacher at UA standing there shooting at villains. I'm like, oh, shit just got real. and then there's our boy with the reciprocal blast. He's like, I brought the teachers. It was such a great fucking moment.
That whole finale was so sick. Because All Might showed up. He was like, man, I was resting all day, and this happened. When he showed up, that was like a Goku moment. He showed up to the battlefield late and start flexing on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Vintage. It was a vintage moment. And Bob, I mean, if you didn't have respect for freaking Eraserhead after what he went through in that fight, he got demolished in that fight. His elbow got destroyed, and All Might just showed up, flexed on him with the speed, went out to Nomu, and I mean the fight between the two of them was like an all-time anime classic. But I love like the all for one, the one for all punch that he hit him with the Team Rocket, and then he just goes, back in my heyday, would have took 5 punches. It's like all I needed was 5 punches to take care of that. But today it took more than 300 mighty blows. It's like, Jesus Christ, what was this dude like in his prime? In his prime? Like he just went plus ultra on this dude, and like more than 300 mighty blows, and it would have took 5 punches in his heyday. Ridiculous.
It really
Deku was about to die. He was about to get that hand to the face.
Yep.
he was finna get it. He might have actually killed Shigaraki if it wasn't for that Warp Gate guy or Nomu.
And he even says
Um,
like, "You tried to kill me. That's not very heroic." and and Deku's like, points for not succeeding.
and and even and even more so than that, because up until that moment, like you said, when the heroes showed up, I think all we knew is maybe a couple people knew about All Might's situation, but then when they showed up, we finally found out that everybody knew, because the first thing that they did was like, oh, we need to get to All Might because he's powering down.
Yeah,
And
concrete
that was
whale
so
guy
cool to see.
raised the wall.
Yeah, yeah, because All Might was done. Like he bluffed him after he hit Nomu, but he was literally smoking.
Mm-hmm. Because you see him after the wall goes up and Deku gets to him, and he freaks because All Might's like half All Might, half not at that point. I think, and I say this knowing full well that you could have done those scenes a lot of different ways. I think the only thing that could have been a little bit better about that, those last 3 or 4 episodes, we didn't get a lot of Bakugo, Todoroki, or who's the hardening? Crimson Riot, Red Riot?
Yeah, Kirishima.
Kirishima. We didn't get a lot of those 3. We got everyone else. But those 3 were conspicuously left out of all the major fights. And I think that was one of the things that I would like to have seen is how, because they're arguably, I would say at the time of that episode in terms of combat, it's Todoroki, Bakugo, Kirishima, and then Deku with, who's the booster leg guy? Terrible names. The engines for
booster.
engines for
Talking
legs.
about Ida, yeah.
Ida's probably fifth.
Yeah.
Ingenium. Oh, that's a great name. And he's a knight. He's a knight with fucking legs that shoot fire. What? Sign me up.
It's a great suit.
But so you literally sat your 3 best fighters down for that fight. Because I don't remember them doing anything.
Well, actually, Bakugo, remember, because they had double teamed All Might because none of his stuff was working on Nomu.
Right.
And the Warp Gate got in and trapped him in the warp hole, and Nomu was about to pound on him, and then Bakugo came in and started blowing on the neck of the Warp Gate guy, and he trapped him on the ground.
Oh, that's right. But that, all right,
Yeah.
he did that, but you expect Bakugo to be flying around busting people in the face. He got one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was it. But I think you could have done more. But I loved how it ended. So it's not one of those things where I want to change a lot of what we got because it was really good. I just wondered what it would have looked like with them so early into the training, how they would have handled guys that of that caliber. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, anything else pique your interest while I have you?
I guess in terms of some potential comic news, I guess they're gonna do a little single arc run with a revamped Jay Garrick. Have you seen anything about that?
No, but that's interesting.
Yeah, they're gonna see if I can kind of pull this up. They're gonna do a revamp on Jay. Are they doing something now like they rebirth with a new arc or something?
I don't know. Ever since Bendis came on, I've been just so disenfranchised with DC because he ruined and changed so many things that didn't need to be touched. So I'm just kind of meh. I'm so mad. Because we got all this great stuff for 2.5 years. It was all so good. And then just like that, they ruin it because Bendis wants to make Lois Lane unfaithful, or they want to age up John Kent from being just a 12-year-old little snot-nosed kid who's just like, oh, God, Scully G. Wilkers, Dad, I want to be just like you, to being some angsty 17-year-old bitch. Generation Zero returns to one of DC Comics' core concepts, legacy. Is that what you're talking about? Let's see. Inside the Return of Jay Garrick. Let's see. We're loading. Den a Geek. Jay Garrick, the original Flash, gets his first solo story in over a decade in the Flash 750. Interesting. Debuting in the pages of Flash Comics but you can't keep a good character with Jay's jaunty Mercury helmeted flare down, and by 19 get to the actual Jesus Christ. This article doesn't know how to be an article. You're supposed to put all this shit at the top, man. Now we go back to Jay Garrick's solo adventure in over a decade as part of the Flash 750, an 80-page giant anniversary celebration that will celebrate the history of the Scarlet Speedster and lay groundwork for what's to come. We spoke with writer Joshua Williamson, who has been steering the adventure of the Flash and Friends for nearly 4 years, and what it was like to finally spend some quality time with the Flash who started it all. Marcus, have you read this interview? And if you have, what's your takeaway for the upcoming Jay Garrick solo story?
Yeah, I'm interested because obviously I'm a big fan of the Flash, and I think everybody kind of, for the most part, it sounds like a lot of people, while they like and have a lot of respect and love for Barry Allen, a lot of people are huge Wally West fans. It's weird because I was scrolling through Instagram randomly the other day, and I saw freaking Wally's on the what's that the
Mobius chair.
Galactic chair? Yeah, Mobius chair. I'm like, what in the hell? I'm like, first off, wasn't he dead? Now they got him on the Mobius. But a great shot, by the way. He looked cool as all hell, like God tier. But I'm like, okay, we've jumped a few deep levels of logic here. Like, what? Okay.
But, took one too many shots from the snake.
One too many shots. But in terms of Jay Garrick, like I like that because, I got a real appreciation for the original guy. I've always appreciated his aesthetic, and especially like more modernized takes on it. We got a taste of it in the Flash, although it was a complete fabrication. But what they started with, it was great to see John Wesley Shipp in that role. But when they started out, it was a complete lie. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this because this apparently they're not gonna like 100% make him like the old man Jay Garrick. They're gonna kind of give him a little flair and flavor and kind of mix some stuff into his book. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I think both me and you have kind of been looking for other things that are not necessarily staunchly associated with Rebirth to kind of look into. Me specifically is something besides Power Rangers. Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing what they do with this.
This might be something I check out. It might not be something I check out. Who knows? DC needs to figure their shit out because they had the sympathy vote, so to speak, from the comic fan base for all of Rebirth, and they're like, nah, we're gonna just fuck everything up.
It's so weird, like the inverse of fortunes. When the comics were popping off and everything was getting kicking off with Rebirth, and the comics was killing it. The film verse was shaky, and now it's the inverse.
Yeah, go figure.
So
that's the way the cookie crumbles.
So, freaking Black Adam's gonna start shooting either this summer or sometime close to that. The Batman's in the process. Aquaman is soon coming. Stuff is greenlit. It's a weird time right now as a DC fan.
I read somewhere that the Black Adam and Shazam 2 are going to be shot side to side.
I mean, look, I don't see why not. They're gonna have to. I almost can't do one without the other. Because half of the point of one is the other, in a lot of ways. And when you do the reference at the end of the movie, all the kids sit down because you've seen Shazam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you do the reference at the end of the movie, it's like, I wonder who that chair is for. You might not want the answer to that question. But yeah, when you do that, and then obviously this gonna be a different take on Black Adam, which I can't wait to see what The Rock does with that. Yeah, I hope they kind of, like you said, they're gonna be shooting at it the same side to side. So hopefully there's some great little crossovers with that. Cause they got something unique with the whole Shazam thing. Like Shazam hit a little bit different because I think the kids took everybody's heart by storm with
Yeah.
that. Even if they wasn't necessarily 100% on board with Zachary Levi, or there may have been some type of disparity between how the personality shifted when he turned into Shazam and then when he wasn't. So I think they can make up some ground, but for the most part, I think they nailed it with Shazam. So definitely gonna be interesting because the Rock is gonna bring a completely different flavor, and those kids are gonna have to grow up quick for those adult candy ass whoopings he's gonna hand it out. I imagine.
Can I just make a simple request to the universe? Don't let Black Adam do the goddamn people's elbow. Not people's elbow, people's eyebrow. Like, we don't need it in everything you do, Rock.
You know, dude. Ah.
Am I alone on that
Oh,
one?
now you got me going through the Rolodex. Like, okay, the Fast movies. Okay, he do the eyebrow there. I'm pretty sure he did it in uh, the Jungle movies.
Oh, he did it in
Um,
Jumanji, and I know he did it in Doom, and I think he did it in Walking Tall. I think he did it in what was the one where he was chasing Sean William Scott? The Rundown.
oh, the rundown. He bought it. Yeah, I would imagine that happened. I definitely know he delivered the rock bottom to Statham in what that was, Fast 6 or 7. I think it was 7 because that's when he blew the house up. Yeah, Fast 7. But wow.
He did
Yeah.
the rock bottom. So I'm gonna go super generic in my description of this guy. He's the big bald black dude in every movie from like 2002 to 2008. Did you ever see Dodgeball?
Yeah.
Do you remember Ben Stiller's main henchman, the big black guy?
Oh. Yeah.
He was in The Rundown at the start of the film, and the rock bottomed him through like a glass table at the start of the film.
One of the security guys at the club.
Yes, you remember.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like we get it. You're the Rock. We love you. Like you don't need to remind us of the reasons why we loved you. You can make new reasons. Like we're okay with that. Like it's okay to be different now, man. Like we're good. We're on your side. Like we bought the ticket. We're here for you.
I'm glad it's like only like in between, I guess, the spine bust and the rock bottom. Because apparently the Rock had one of the and obviously I'll be getting your opinion on this now. He had one of the worst sharpshooters of all time.
Oh, it's terrible. It's dog garbage. It's
So
it's a
leave it
shin lock.
It's a shit lock. So at least he's not doing that. Mm.
I mean, yet. I think he did something in fucking Baywatch. I can't
Oh, God,
remember.
what did he do in Baywatch? He did so much in Baywatch.
And none of it was good.
Oh, it really wasn't.
Like, I'm all for watching Alexander Daddario in a red Speedo. Like,
Hey, man. And even the one that the girl's name who was the weird guy was after in the whole movie.
and she was into him because that's
Yeah.
real.
And at the end, she was like, "Hotcakes." I'm like, me. I want hotcakes. I want hotcakes.
I would love to have a blonde chick that was into me. I'm more attractive than that, dude. It's have you ever seen Parks and Rec, the TV show?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like you know how Jerry has like the hottest wife ever and like 3 gorgeous daughters and Jerry's Jerry. Why can't I have that?
It's so weird because it be like that in real life a lot. It's just I don't know. Stuff just happens, man. You just attract. Chemistry is a weird thing, I guess.
Man, I need to go back to school and become a chemist. All right. So, anything else tickle your fancy that you would comment on before we head off for the evening?
No, that's it for me. Unless something come through the wire last minute.
Nope. I am good. So, with all that being
No.
said, let's wrap it up. Marcus and I will be back on Sunday. We're going to be talking wrestling and wrestling related things. I think I want to do for Sunday, or maybe we do it for next Sunday, because they're doing this ruthless aggression documentary. I think I want to
Yeah.
do a special look back at the ruthless aggression era. Talk about the stars that were, the stars that could have been, the stars that definitely weren't, and how that ruthless aggression era actually helped pave the way for Impact and Ring of Honor. But I don't know if you can come up with, if you can watch enough stuff and read enough stuff between now and Sunday to prep for that. Would you want an extra week to prep for something like that?
I mean, I could definitely get caught up on the episodes. Um,
Well, I don't
but
know if the doc is already out yet.
Are you talking about the episodes that's been aired on the network, right? After Raw?
Maybe. I mean, dude, you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Are they airing
Yeah, I
the
think
ruthless aggression documentary already?
yeah, they're airing part. Yeah, they're basically. I think they're doing it like every Monday after Raw. They're dropping a new ep of
Okay.
it. So I could get caught up on that and obviously read up on some articles. If you send me some, I could Google some. So I could, you know us, we could do a lot of research in a day or a couple days. Looking at you, Allison, man. Um,
We did that one in 24 hours. We came
we kicked
hard
off
with that one.
before the hurricane kicked off. We were just randomly looking into it. Then all of a sudden, jail. I was like, what?
I want to be very clear. Marcus came to me with this no nonsense, who the hell are you blogger? He's like, dude, Allison Mack might be into some shit. I'm like, what? So Marcus bloodhound the hell out of that story. And we were the first ones talking about it in any full length and depth before anyone. Because of Marcus. He's my goddamn bloodhound. And I love it. Sniff out that story for me.
Well, thank you.
So we got some feathers in our cast, man. I tell you what.
It was just funny because we went off into so many Smallville tangents, and then it was funny how stuff kept happening because I think you had vaguely heard of some stuff because of that. I think a website that you had went on or some guy that may have been writing on it.
Mm-hmm.
You referenced that, and then because sometimes I would just look up to see if any of these cast members had some new interviews or something that I could watch. I saw the stuff with Keith Raniere, but when I saw it, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought she was, trying to get with this guy or whatever. And then the little stuff started popping up in there. Yeah, little stuff started popping up in there about a cult. I'm like, wait a minute, is this about the guy that she was? I'm like, oh man, okay. So stuff just started happening. And then after we did the thing or the show, something to add on ABC. I hit Chad up about that. I'm like, you got to be like, the dominoes just started falling in the weirdest way, and we didn't take any delight in it because we like Allison Mack, but a lot of effery went down. So
When I saw ABC was doing that, like a couple months after we did ours, I'm just like, they took our tubes.
it's even worse because by the time it gets to that point, something's about to happen.
Right, like you don't get to ABC special nightly news edition without something already about to go crumbling down. Like that's the conversation you have right before like, hey, can you come to this specific office that we always fire people from? As soon as you get that phone call, you're getting fired. That's exactly what that fucking ABC special was. That was her phone call to be fired.
And even weirder so, I mean, you hear about the other stores, the other women and stuff, and obviously, we went through that stuff as well. But it's even weirder because, like, Kristen Crook could have been in there with her because I think she may have, like, introduced her or something, but then she got out of it. And then, yeah, I guess Allison stayed and literally just went head first and everything. So we could have been talking about two Smallville alums instead of one.
Didn't they also try to get Rosenbaum? I thought he said something like, they had talked to me about it, but I wasn't interested.
I don't think so. I don't remember him mentioning anything
It
about
was
it.
it
I
was
know
on
he
it.
got questions.
He mentioned something about it on his podcast, and I think you sent it to me. So I might be misremembering what he said.
Yeah, I know he definitely. I think he said he didn't keep too much in touch with her. He heard about that I guess she was getting into some I guess self exploration or whatever. But anything past that, I don't think he had anything uh to do with it. But I think somebody had asked him, and all he like I don't know anything about it. Like I was cool with Allison, but we didn't hang out to that extent. She just always seemed like a great person, and she was cool with me. But that had to be a weird position for that cast to be in post that, specifically with all this CW stuff coming back up to be like, hey, Smallville reunion, not a full reunion, but a Smallville reunion, because you don't see Pete around either. I think he does some fitness and inspirational things, but I think I saw somewhere where he had like a sex tape or something.
Well, I know Pete had a lot bigger issues than a sex tape. Yeah, you get pulled over for trying to smuggle drugs. You're in a bad way in life. Because he was on one of our other favorite shows that we talk about quite a bit, Blue Mountain State,
Yep.
and he got fired from it because he got busted with like 200 pounds of something or other. Like, damn, man. Sometimes sometimes you're just batting a zero, man. Oof. All right, so for Sunday, let's prep then for the ruthless aggression stuff. Cultaholic
Gotcha.
and Wrestling with Regret did a few videos, like 10 Ruthless Aggression era stars you forgot, or 7 Ruthless Aggression era stars who could have been big, stuff like that. So I would check out both
Gotcha.
of them.
Okay.
And if you need me to, I can just send you the videos, like, because I'm about to do editing for last night's Making an Impact right now. So, like, I'm in work mode for
Gotcha.
the rest of the night, so I could just send those to you if you really need me to. As far as
Okay.
articles, I don't know of anything that exists off the top of my head. I would just watch the docu series then on WWE Network, because we only subscribe and watch things that we are legally allowed to.
Because we're supporters.
Yes, we're supporters of the Dudley Do Right Society. Actually, you know what? I would totally join the Dudley Do Right Society. I think we should be doing right. I'm just saying, like, I think Dudley Do Right's a hell of a role model, especially when Brandon Fraser played him. You ride that moves backwards, Dudley Do Right. You do that. You do you. All right, so that's what we'll do for Sunday. Friday's show, tomorrow's show might be a little bit late because I got to do some on-call stuff for work. Same thing with Saturday, although Saturday shouldn't interfere too much with recording, so we should be live. Both Friday and Saturday shows are going to be on this channel, twitch.tv/Comic and GameCorp, so tune in and check Twitter for starts, and just subscribe and follow or whatever you got to do in order to know when we go live. Marcus, you can be found on Twitter at ParadoxKid, ParadoxKid.
That's me.
For a second there, I was like, wait, is it DOX or DOC? You can find him also on his other podcast, The True Penny Show, at True Penny Show on Twitter, TruePennyShow.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find me on Twitter at Chad Nerdcorp, ChadNerdCorp, as well as on the Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut. Be sure to follow along with the website at realnerdcorp.com, RealNerdcorp.com. We're also on Twitter at NERDCorp, and on the Instagram at RealNerdcorp. Our woman crush for this week is Brett Anderson, the lead singer of one of my favorite punk bands of all time, The Donnas. She is, in fact, a chick, despite her name is Brett. Beautiful chick, too, by the way. And our wrestler of the week is Cody Rhodes, because he did a moonsault off of a really cool constructed cage. Did you see that cage from AEW?
Yeah, that was cool, man. That was a little uniqueness to it. Had a little space in between there.
Yeah,
That was cool.
I also like the way the center, the corner were trusks instead of just being, 4 pieces of fencing next to each other. I like that. I thought that added a nice little element to it.
Yeah, people don't and don't ever say Cody don't put his life on the line for his product.
You know, he there might be a 47 EVPs with that promotion, but not all of them are doing the EVist of PVists as Cody Rhodes did last night. Doing all the moonsaults. Next Thursday, you and I are back to talk more about The Boys, the next 2 arcs
Oh yeah.
in that series.
Oh yeah.
So tune in for next week if you want to follow along with our reviews of The Boys. So that's all we got. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. For Mark Sheen, I've been Chad Porto. This has been another edition of the ComicCorp podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I got nothing. Marcus, take us home.
Good night, me.